So Kente is a hand-woven cloth made in Ghana. Legend has it that it was actually created through how spiders create the spider web.
What I'm noticing is the quality. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
This is really good quality, very good craftsmanship, and so stunning, so beautiful.
It was quite different. There was a lack of representation. I remember in my primary school we were about 10 black people there. And then I moved to the UK, and the first thing that stood out to me was the amount of diversity. My mom did an amazing job, and I have to thank her. She really ensured that we kept up with the culture.
Yeah, welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here today.
Yeah, lovely to have you. So, can you please introduce yourself? What and
Yes.
what Kente in a day is, please?
Yes, so I'm Elizabeth, like you said. I'm the founder of Kente for a Day, and behind the scenes, I'm an amazing daughter, even more amazing sister, and I'm a student, so I study psychology. A few years down the line before I finish, and part time, I'm a wellbeing coordinator, and I also dance. I do the Ashanti traditional dance called Adwa. And when we talk about Kente for a Day, I think it's important that we start from here because I like to call it my activating event. I think everything in this journey started from when I started dancing 2 years ago.
Oh wow, only
Yeah,
2 years ago?
only 2 years ago.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit of a background of how life was as a young girl? Did you grow up in the UK or did you grow up back in the continent?
So I was actually born in Italy. So both my parents were born and raised in Ghana, then they moved abroad, met, married, and had my sister and myself in Italy. And we lived there for about 8 years until we moved to the UK, London. And yeah, so that's pretty much how my childhood was. Quite close-knit community. And then we moved to the UK and yeah, now we're here.
Was there a change like when you moved to the UK? Around what age were you?
So when I moved to the UK, I was 8 years old. So I just finished third year of primary. So I started fourth year here. And in Italy, I actually lived in a quite predominantly white area. So, it was quite different. There was a lack of representation. I remember in my primary school, we were about 10 black people there. And then I moved to the UK, and the first thing that stood out to me was the amount of diversity. Oh my gosh. I remember on our journey, we came from Stansted to Liverpool Street Station. And I remember we had a lot of like luggage. So my mom just told us to wait while she got tickets. And that was the first time I really got to take the UK in, just looking around. You know how Liverpool Street Station is, it's quite busy. And I look around and I see so many different faces, and it was quite a shock to me. Yeah, I think that was my first culture shock when I came to the UK, the amount of diversity.
Was that the same with Italy? Was there like a culture shock? I know you're very young, obviously. Um, and had you visited the continent as a young girl?
Yeah, so as a young girl, I did visit a few times. I just don't remember. I
You
was
just
too
don't
young.
have much memories
I
about the
don't have
continent.
any
Okay.
memories at all.
Okay.
But when I did grow up a little bit, I think about the age of 12, that's where I started remembering my trips back home. And yeah.
What language was used in your home?
In my home, funny enough, I actually started nursery without speaking any Italian.
Wow.
Yes, my mom was very, very keen on, making sure that we understood the language. She always joked that if we go back home, our grandma can't speak English, she can't
Yeah.
speak Italian, so we need to speak to her in Tree, which is the Akan dialect.
Yeah.
So I think when I started going to nursery, that's when I picked up the language. And even when I started speaking Italian, when I went to school, I would come home and I would be speaking with my sister, and my mom would come and like, why are you guys speaking Italian? No, at home we speak Chi. And, even when you speak to her and you speak to her in Italian, she'll act like she doesn't understand. It was very, very important for her that, she kept the language alive at home.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
What other aspect of your culture was at home and you could feel of the um, Ghanaian culture?
Well, as soon as you entered my home, you could definitely tell it was a Ghanaian home. You know, we had the calabashes, we had the statues made out of clay, we had the aquaba print.
Yeah.
So this was actually a very famous picture taken a few years back. And it depicts a lady holding a calabash, and it became symbol of Ghana.
Yeah.
And we had that in our home, as other Ghanaian households had them as well. So yeah, as soon as you entered my home, you knew that a Ghanaian family lives here.
Amazing. What kind of a family was it? Was it a big family or like just a medium family?
Well, it wasn't a huge family. It was just myself, my sister, my parents. So it was quite, the nuclear
Yeah,
family.
a small family.
Yeah. And, once you are abroad, you don't really get that sense of the huge family, because when you're back home, you have grandparents, cousins, second cousins,
Yeah.
everybody living in the same house. But over here is a bit different, and the nuclear family is quite more popular.
So you don't have any other family apart from just your mom and dad and your sister? You didn't have an extended family?
Not in Italy. When I moved to the UK, then we joined my auntie and her family as well, but we're all sort of scattered around abroad. So, yeah, it's just us most of the time.
Oh, okay. Did you have like a annual gathering or of the whole family, or was that a bit difficult?
It was a bit difficult. It was a bit difficult because, sometimes just figuring out getting time off of work, and
Yeah.
we go to school, so our time off of school is quite limited, things like that. So, it makes seeing each other quite difficult. But whenever we can, we do meet, because at the end of the day, family's important.
Absolutely. Let's go back now to Kente, right? Because that's the name of your business, Kente a Day.
Yeah.
So, what is it, Kente, for anybody who've never come across it before?
So kente is a handwoven cloth made in Ghana. Legend has it that it was actually created through how spiders create the spider webs.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we had two brothers. They were hunters, Amayao and Krogu. They were from the Asana clan of Bonre. And when they went out hunting, they saw the spider, and they were so amazed by how it was weaving its web so intricately. So they kind of picked up that, the whole concept of weaving a web, and they made their first cloth, which was called Enri and Tuma, which means woven cloth, basically. So once they made it, they went to show the chief of the Bonre area, and he was in love with it. He was in love with it, and he sent them to go to Kumasi to show the actual king, Osei Tutu the first. So it was actually, it became the royal regalia. So back in the days, kente was only worn by the royals, and obviously now it has turned to other civilians wearing it as well.
Can you show us
Yes,
how it looks
definitely.
like, please?
Definitely. So we have so many different types of kente. We have so many different types of kente, from the more modern ones to the more traditional ones. This is quite a traditional kente, and this one is called Sikanebema, which translates from the Akan language into English. It translates into money is the man. So it's sort of a symbol of how important money is in the society, and how money, is important for you. And this is quite a traditional one. We have so many different types. We have Emripadawanim, which means there's good days coming ahead of you. We have Sika Fremoja. We have Sika Futuro, gold dust, showcasing how Ghana is a place of abundance and gold. Over here we have a
Can I
different
touch
type.
it, please?
Of course you can.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm noticing is the quality. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
This
And
is really good quality, very good craftsmanship, and so stunning, so beautiful.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
all hand woven.
And it feels so warm as well.
Yeah.
Is it cool to wear in the Ghanaian sun? Or
It's quite, heavy. It is
So
definitely
you only
heavy.
wear it for occasions, yeah?
Yeah, a
Okay,
few hours
perfect.
during the day.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Here we have a different type. This
Okay.
was actually named after former President Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the Obama Kente is quite known for the embroidery of the Adinkra symbols.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here we have one of the most famous Adinkra symbols over here. It's called Jinyame.
Mm-hmm.
And Jinyame, when you translate it, it means accept God.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows the supremacy of God and his sovereignty and his omnipotence. And even over here, I'm wearing the same Adinkra symbol
Oh,
for earring.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen the symbol,
yeah,
but I never knew the meanings behind the symbol. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. And over here, I think we have another Adinkra symbol, which is very, very important when it comes to Kente. This one is called Anansin and it translates to the spider's web. And it all sort of goes back to this idea of how Kente originated from a spider's web. So yeah, we use Kente to communicate, and there's a lot of symbolism when it comes to this.
So amazing. Can I also feel that one?
Yes,
I think they are different, slightly
different, yeah.
different, yeah.
This one has the embroidery of the Dinka symbol, so it's quite heavier than the normal woven ones.
And how many days does it take for you to make such a fabric?
It takes quite a while because it's all hand woven,
Yeah.
done on the loom, so it takes about anywhere from a month plus. Yes.
So that's why they have to be worn by the royalty, right? Because it's a
Yeah,
lot of
a
work
lot
and
of work.
craftsmanship. And are they made by like families, lineages, or can just any tailor do it?
Any tailor can do it. Any tailor
Okay.
can do it. Yeah.
So take us through like a celebration where this is worn. How is that like? The music, the celebration, the food.
Yes, so usually kente is worn, for important occasions. Like you saw, it's quite heavy, and there's quite an importance attached to it. So it's worn for important occasions. So it's definitely worn for cultural celebrations. In Ghana we have a cultural celebration called Akweside, which is celebrated every 40 days, and it's a way for us to come together as a Ghanaian community and, call onto our ancestors and thank them for them being there and sort of, you know, looking at what is to come in the following weeks ahead before the next Akweside. So during that, there's a lot of kente. You will see
Yeah.
so many different types. That is where if you have kente that you haven't worn and it's just in your wardrobe, that
Yeah.
is where you can come and showcase it. There's so many different types. I think another popular event where kente is worn would be weddings, especially traditional weddings. It's becoming more popular for couples to actually do the traditional engagement other than the white wedding, and they would wear kente for that as well. Sometimes they even get it custom made, so they will choose their own adinkra symbols, choose their own colors. Sometimes even have their names embroidered in it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Wow. Proper craftsmanship, right?
yeah.
Can you take us through the jewelries that are worn and let us know whether they are worn by male or by female or by children?
Yes, so jewelry can be worn by anybody.
Okay.
However, in some cases, like let's say cultural celebrations, akwasi there is just some jewelry that you cannot wear when the king is there. So when the king is there, you cannot wear a crown.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So here we have a piece of gold jewelry. I usually tend to style this for weddings and important cultural celebrations. And once again, we have Adinkra symbols representing. So this one is called Adinkra Hne, which is the king of Adinkra symbols, that is. Yes, and it can be decorated with so many different symbols as well. Over here, I got this custom made. So we have the Africa sort of shape, and we have different Adinkra symbols in there. Once again, Jinyame is representing.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Can I hold
of course.
it? Okay. And earlier on we talked a little bit about the fact that they are gold, but this is
Yeah,
not actual gold,
this is
but
not actual gold. It'll be
yeah.
impossible to carry.
But
Yeah.
traditionally, this
Yeah,
was gold.
traditionally was
Yeah.
gold, but now that we sort of are making it accessible to everybody, we try to find ways to make it easier to wear.
Yeah, it's very detailed as
Yeah.
well. Very, very detailed.
Yes.
And Ghana is known for gold, cocoa, right?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all this culture with us. Is that have you shown that one? The Are those more for the women or also men can wear?
Men can wear it as
Oh,
well.
cool.
I tend to style these more for my traditional photo shoots. I think it just looks really nice with the colors, and
Yeah.
it just gives you options as well. So yes, these are just plain beads.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I have a look? Wow, it's quite heavy and very detailed. I love, love, love the patterns. Wow, it's so much work
Yeah,
that,
it's all handmade.
yeah, amazing. How important is it that this culture continues, like to the next generations?
I think it's very important, and it's part of the reason why Kente Day even exists. I'm a second gen Ghanaian, so like I said, I was born over here, and if my parents, when they came over here, they didn't have opportunities to engage in their culture, they wouldn't be able to teach me. So I think it's very important that, we are always making sure that we have something to go back to. Because at the end of the day, I think our culture is what gives us a collective identity. I could be in Italy, I could be in Spain, I could be in any part of the world. When it is a Saturday night and, I see somebody wearing their kaba and slit, they have their cabinet tied in between them, I know that they're going to a funeral and that they're Ghanaian, So I think it's very important that we keep up with it, because over here culture doesn't come to us automatically. Maybe back home, you're walking past a bar, they're playing our music, you go to church, somebody's wearing kente. Over here, we have the challenge of, actually creating those opportunities for ourselves. So, yeah, I think it's very important that we are intentionally engaging in it so that it's not lost.
Wow. You're very, very young and very knowledgeable about the Ghanaian culture. And I'm just wondering, like, how did you manage to stay grounded um, and stay like interested in your identity and your culture and, you know, even the language?
Like I was saying before, my mum did an amazing job, and I have to thank her. She really ensured that we kept up with the culture, especially when it came to the language. And I don't know, when it comes to me, I don't know if I'm an ancestor and I've been born again.
I think you are.
I've been born again, but
Absolutely.
I've always sort of had a liking towards anything culture related. So even the Nigerian culture, there was a period of time where I was really interested in their dances, and, everything culture related really, whenever I hear something culture related, it's like my ears perk up a little bit. So yeah, I've always been passionate about culture and just seeing how, it translates, especially across the border.
And it's amazing. Have you been to Ghana?
Yeah, I've been to Ghana. Yes.
How did you find it?
I think when I first went, my first time since I remember, I think even myself, I had that perception, oh, Ghana is a bit, I don't know what to expect. But once you get, you see that's totally different, especially now we have so much more development going on. It's such fun times. It's such fun times. And it was beautiful when I went to be able to spend it with my family. Like I said, over here it's just us in, a little 2-bedroom flat, all cooped up in this tight space. But when I went home, the house is ours. You know, my grandma, my cousins, every night we will all, gather up in my grandma's living room and watch a movie or something. I think I spent about a month in Ghana, and I don't remember if I was ever even on my phone. Actually, there was just so much to do all the time.
When did you first connect with the Kente cloth and what it represents?
Mhm. So with Kente, I actually first time I came into contact with it was during my childhood. So it was my mother's birthday. I think it was quite an important year because, she went all out to celebrate it. So my granddad, her dad, sent her a kente cloth. It was, I think, green, pink, and yellow. And that Sunday, she sewed it into a dress. And that Sunday, we went to church and we took a family picture. That time, we were still printing the film. And yeah, whatever was left with that cloth, it wouldn't have surfaced another dress, but whatever's left with it, she kept it always in her belongings till this day. It's still in her
Yeah.
belongings. She hasn't touched it.
Wow.
And maybe as a child, to me, I was oblivious to that. But now that I'm older and I'm into this whole kente business, I realized that from a very early age, kente to me was portrayed as something of very high importance and something that had a lot of value. And throughout my childhood, whenever you wanted to give someone a gift that was very, very, you know, huge, you would always, Kente was the go-to, you order from Ghana, so I want Kente, and give it gifted to that person. So, Kente has always been something that has been shown to me as something that's important.
So when you're styling it, what do you have to like bear in mind? Like, because do you have to like have a modern twist to it? Because I would assume the way it's styled back in Ghana probably might not be the same way it's translated, or is it the same way?
It's the same way. So something that I love about my culture is that no matter the years that have passed, it always remains the same. And even when there's a modern twist to it, the actual like integral value of it is kept the same. So when it comes to styling, there isn't much difference. But I would say that me being a young lady and second gen living in the diaspora, to me, it's very important that I showcase it in a way that is accessible to, other people like me so that they also find interest in engaging with it. So whether it is through my content, get ready with me, TikTok, that is where they're most likely to engage with it. And that is what I say I do to sort of give it more of a modern twist.
Can you take us through, you're just about to do a photo shoot, for example, Kente, and you're just about to style it? Can you just take us through like how you're gonna style it?
Yes. So with my photo shoots, and it's actually a signature package that I offer, the Aquaba photo shoot experience. So I coordinate the day for you, from studio to setup to pictures to editing. So all you have to do is just turn up and look pretty. And it's very important to me because I want the experience to feel personal to you. And the time that you are engaging with your culture, I want it to be a nice, fun, memorable experience for you. So, yes, to make it personal, I will show you through a range of options and we sort of go through them together and you make your choices. I offer the two-piece. So, with that, I usually use akin to print like the one I'm wearing today.
Yeah, it's very
Just
beautiful.
thank you. And I use that just because it's a bit more malleable for me than the regular kente. So we have that, and we also have the normal dancing crown style. So with that, you have a piece of lace that goes underneath, a few scarves around the waist, and we just drape the kente over your left shoulder so that your right is available.
So is it for photo shoot, weddings? Do you also do for funerals, or
For
tell us
funerals,
more of, like what Kente a day style?
yes. So we do all cultural events, whether it's a funeral, whether it's whatever you're doing that is cultural, we will take care of you. Um, we do photo shoots as well. So like I was saying, we offer the signature Aquaba photo shoot experience. And we also do weddings. So weddings, we will come and style you in the morning, and you get to keep it for the day, and we take it home at the night because it's Kente for a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've talked a little bit about like the pattern, the designs, and what that means as well. Um, and I just found it very rich in terms of like culture. Now, I feel there's a difference between when you're styling it, obviously for the funeral, and also for the weddings, right? There's a very big difference, right?
Yes.
Um, so how does it feel for you to be a part of that? Because these are very like deep moments as well, emotional,
Yeah.
high emotions, obviously.
Yeah.
Is it stressful or?
It can be quite stressful just because, somebody will not get married twice.
Yeah.
So it's very important that it just adds that extra layer of stress that, everything needs to be intact. I need to have the location. I need to be there on time, just because it's their day and they're not going to get to do it again. So if I'm not there in time,
Yeah,
everything is
exactly.
delayed. But how does it feel to be part of that? Honestly, I would say so fulfilling.
Yeah.
So fulfilling. Um, especially when I do my photo shoots, I think my favorite, client, the ideal client would be my couples that are just about to get married. Many times they'll come in and do the pre-wedding photo shoots. And it's just so lovely to see them come in so in love, and they're wearing all the Kente regalia. And funny enough, they usually come in quite quiet, reserved,
Yeah.
and I get them all dressed up. They have the Kente, the jewelry on, and the personality comes out.
As soon as you style them, then the personality just comes
The
up and they
personality
lighten up a
comes
bit.
out.
Yeah.
I put the music on. I have a whole dedicated playlist,
Oh,
mind
we
you.
need music.
And the person, they feel so free,
Mhm.
and it just fills my heart. And actually recently I had a couples booking, and we've done the booking, go home, I check in with my client, and she says, "Thank you so much for that. That was a very wholesome experience."
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. And to her it was probably just, a normal message, but to me it meant the world because, that's the whole aim of Kinta for a Day. Yes, I'm a styling service, but I do want the experience to be impactful for you. Like I said, over here, our culture doesn't happen automatically. We have to continuously and intentionally find ways to engage with it. So, when you create the opportunity for yourself by booking Kenta for a day, if I'm able to make that experience memorable for you, you have so much fun, and you're able to link it to your marriage, for example, in this case, that's my job done. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of why Kinta for a Day is there.
Are there any misconception about Kente you would want to correct through your work, for example?
Um,
Like general misconception that maybe we East Africans have no idea about, um, or even some modern Ghanaians that probably they've not gotten in touch with that part of their culture. Does that make sense? Because
yeah.
sometimes people might think, oh, I'm not gonna look right with this, or it's too traditional. Some people might say it's too traditional. But is there a general misconception that you would like to, especially with the young generations, you would like to kind of break?
Yeah. I don't think that there's, misconceptions about Kente that I can think of off the top of my head. But like I said, as a second gen and a young lady in this industry, to me it's important that I'm showcasing Kente in a way that is accessible to people that are like me.
Yeah.
And that is why I offer options. So we don't just do the dancing Christ style, for example. We also have a two-piece, so that even if you're a young person and you feel that okay, maybe the dancing Christ is a little bit too traditional for me, well, the two-piece is a little bit, my modern twist to it,
Yeah.
and for example, what I'm wearing today is still
Yeah.
Kente, it's a print,
It's beautiful.
so
Yeah.
it's not real Kente.
Yeah.
But, it just showcases that you don't always have to wear Kente the traditional style.
Yeah.
There's another way you can still embrace wearing Kente, but put a modern twist to it.
Absolutely. What advice would you give to diaspora women who would want to work in cultural fashion or styling? Because we do know, yes, there are women working in fashion, but not so many in this field, like cultural field, because we do have a lot of culture in Africa.
Yeah.
The East Africans have their own culture, the South Africans have their own culture, the West Africans have their own culture.
To anybody who wants to get into the fashion, especially do exactly what I'm doing, the styling, I would say it's going to be difficult in the beginning. It's going to be really difficult, but don't give up because it gets easier as you go along. I remember when I started, my first major issue was getting access to things. Many of the things that I have, this was sourced from Ghana, and because I wasn't born or raised there, I was sort of stuck. Oh, who should I go to? And even when you know who to go to, because I don't stay there, I don't know the ins and outs. So maybe there's a particular area that where I go to that area, I know that I will find all types of kente. But I just didn't have that knowledge, And even when I sort of leaned on my family, because they don't necessarily have the knowledge of the industry, they were quite helpful, but not all the way helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really struggled with that, but it gets easier because somehow I found a way. I leveraged my connections through social media, and they led me to somebody who knew someone who knew someone. And then we got there in the end. But now, because I've sort of done it before,
Yeah.
I know what I'm looking out for. I know the red flags and all of that. So it gets easier. And I'll say another thing is don't give in to the thoughts in your head, because it will really cause inertia and just cause you to stop. And we don't want that. We want momentum. Because we're sort of getting secondary knowledge. Like I said, we weren't born or raised there. So whatever we know is through what we've researched, through what we've learned, through what we've seen from our parents. And sometimes it can cause doubts in your mind that, do I really know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
But if you've gotten this far, you do know something.
Absolutely.
And the lovely part about this job is, it's a safe place and you learn as you go along.
Yeah, and you've done a great job with your research and sourcing the products. They're actually very high quality. And it's amazing. So what keeps you going now that you're there? What then keeps your creativity going?
I'm, like I said, I'm quite passionate about this whole cultural
I can
thing.
see that.
I'm quite passionate. It's literally everything. I live it. I breathe it. So when it comes to my creativity, well, I'm surrounded by it. So whether it's a conversation I have with someone on social media, whether it's, through a dancing gig that I go to, whether it's through another client, whether it's through a social media post, I'm constantly surrounded by what I do. So it's quite rare for me to go out of ideas. But, sometimes life gets in the way.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I work part-time, I'm a student, I do so many other things. And sometimes you just become so hyper focused on something that you don't have any creative juices left in you. So what helps me in those moments is that I do a lot of research. So in the times where I'm actually, prone to do these things, I do a lot of research and I write everything down. I have so many folders. I have a hard disk. I'm literally fighting my life for storage. Yeah, so, I have folders of everything. So in the case where I'm not really in the headspace to think of a different idea, I just go in my bank and pick something out.
Absolutely. Do you have a Pinterest? Because Do you know what a
Yeah.
Pinterest is?
Yes,
Like, that's where you get all the ideas.
I have Pinterest, so many folders on Pinterest, so many folders on TikTok, so many folders on Instagram, documents. It's a lot of work.
Amazing, well done. Where can people book you or connect with Kente Ade?
So where you can book me, I'm on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Kente for a day, all together, small letters. You know, you don't have to necessarily come and book me. We can just have a chat, and talk anything culture. You can also email me, so kenteforaday@gmail.com, and I'll get to you when I can.
Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So, if you can sum it all up in one word, what would that be in terms of like what you do?
When I think about my brand, the first sort of word that comes to my mind is Sankofa. And, it's I actually intentionally put it in my logo because I think everything that I do revolves around Sankofa. So we actually have a proverb in the Akan language that says, "Sewere was Sankofa Yinchi," which means that it is not a taboo to forget something and go back for it.
Absolutely.
And I think all the work that I'm doing revolves around us not forgetting about our culture. And even when we do come to the stage where we feel like we've forgotten about our culture, we're not necessarily engaged with it as much as we would love to. We can go back to it. We can research. We
Absolutely.
can take a trip and educate ourselves. So yes, Sankofa.
Absolutely. And we don't have to be perfect, right?
Yeah, we don't have to be perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for just being here and sharing with us so much about the Kente fabric, the culture, Ghanaian people. And you're doing such a great job. You're very, very young. And it's so inspirational to see the young generation embracing their culture, because that's one thing that we struggle with, to help them realize that there's so much more to your culture than what maybe the media tries to portray. And yeah, there's so much wealth of knowledge, culture, stories, that we can still benefit from as Africans or second generation Africans. So yeah, super proud of you.
Thank you so much. It was lovely being here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.